It's Friday the 13th on a spooky morning in October. Hey, it's chilly outside, but we've been red hot here on Got It Covered the last couple of weeks, much in part to this guy, 3304 sports beat writer and Swiss Army knife Raza Umerani, and he joins the show for the very first time. Our spread savant has been helping me write Got It Covered for weeks, and it only seemed right to make this bad boy a tag team effort.
Yeah, Gio, it's great to be here. We had our best performance of the year in Week 6, going 4-1-1, two very close calls away from a spotless slate.
Yeah, so we sit here at 13-7-2 on this season as Michigan won big on the road. Louisville and Oklahoma both won outright as underdogs, and Arkansas kept it close against Ole Miss.
That Washington State game took us by surprise there, and the Buckeyes, it's crazy, Gio. That's the second time this year that they've pushed on us.
Yeah, Ohio State just continues to plague us, Raza. Nevertheless, it's time for your weekly bout with the books.
You already know we're about to show Vegas who's boss.
Give me my theme music. We start in the land of Tony Soprano and Gabagool with our first cautious cover. A battle of the Big Ten as Rutgers host Michigan State for a noon kick in Piscataway.
The Scarlet Knights are one of only 5 FBS teams to be undefeated against the spread in 2023. As 4.5-point home favorites and a far better team on both sides of the ball, I don't see why that trend shouldn't continue.
You know, not to mention the unfortunate chaos that continues to unfold in East Lansing amidst a scandal that has distracted the Spartans, resulting in 3 straight offensive duds. Michigan State has scored 16 or less points in each of their last 3 games, including 2 where Big Sparty dropped less than 10.
For that, we like Rutgers to roll at home.
Book it, baby. Rutgers minus 4.5.
We move all the way down I-95 to the Sunshine State for another nooner as 4th-ranked Florida State hosts Syracuse.
The Orange have fallen off a cliff after a 4-0 start with consecutive double-digit losses to Clemson and North Carolina. Last week, the Tar Heels dismantled Syracuse's mob defense in a 40-7 shellacking down in Chapel Hill.
Meanwhile, the Seminoles keep on winning in style, using their high-powered offense led by Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman, and Trey Benson to rip apart opposing defenses. Considering the polar opposite performances we saw out of these two teams a week ago, it's hard not to like the Noles as 17.5-point home favorites here.
Yeah, Raza, I could not agree with you more. And that's why we're taking Florida State to win big with a statement in Tallahassee.
Book it, baby. Florida State minus 17.5.
Well, we continue our quest to the Atlantic coast with a balanced bet featuring our favorite team in all the land. How about the 14th-ranked Louisville Cardinals? They head to the Steel City to take on Pittsburgh.
The Cards are about a touchdown favorite coming off their biggest win in years against Notre Dame last week and have subsequently shot up the polls. Jawar Jordan continues to look like a Heisman candidate leading a top 20 offense in the country. And I'll tell you, Gio, that defense flies all over the field. No pun intended.
Yeah. And on the other side for Pat Narduzzi's bunch, well, things just continue to sputter. Tenured ACC starting quarterback Phil Jurkovec was moved to tight end last week and is no longer in the quarterback room at Pitt. That tells you just about all you need to know on the Panthers heading into Saturday.
Yeah, with the Steelers on a bye, it could be a painful weekend for the Pittsburgh faithful. We're taking the Cards to continue their conquest of the ACC en route to Charlotte.
Book it, baby. The Ville minus 7.5.
Speaking of teams we love here at Got It Covered, we're headed back to Boulder as Colorado takes on Stanford for a Friday night fight at Folsom.
The Buffs are back to full strength with two-way star Travis Hunter making his long-awaited return. Heisman candidate Shedeur Timothy Sanders has his biggest target back, while the defense gets a huge lift with its lockdown corner on the outside return.
You know, Gio, as nice as it is to have the man in the onesie back on the field, I think Coach Prime's boys would have been fine regardless.
Fair.
Stanford has struggled mightily on both sides of the ball this season. They've only won 1 game thus far, but what concerns me the most, the second worst defense in the country by EPA margin.
You know, it's shaping up to be a Buffalo Stampede on Friday night, so we're coming with a Colorado cover.
Book it, baby. Colorado minus 11.5.
God, I love that. Well, Raza, you know what they say. Big-time playmakers make big-time plays, and we saved our final picks for the two biggest games, and we start with an automatic ace. We return to South Bend and the home of Touchdown Jesus for an all-time rivalry meeting between number 21 Notre Dame and, oh yeah, number 10 USC.
Yeah, Gio, they don't make them much bigger than this. Despite 2 losses in their last 3 games, the Irish are field goal favorites in this one, in large part thanks to Southern Cal's lackluster defense and consecutive unimpressive Pac-12 wins against Arizona and Arizona State. With the Trojans' lack of physicality, I actually think Marcus Freeman's squad matches up pretty well here.
To that, I argue that you can throw physicality out the window. You don't need it when you got Caleb Heisman Williams. He's one of the most electrifying talents in the sport. He is absolutely unbelievable. He's the quarterback of the best offense in the country that leads the nation with 52 points per game. It's Caleb Williams.
I can't argue with any of that. Even if the Irish pull it out, it shouldn't be by much. I'll admit, I like the Trojans to cover as road dogs and even win outright as our underdog of the week.
Ooh, book it, baby. USC plus 2.5.
And now for our super selection of the week. We got perhaps the biggest game of the college football season with infinite CFP implications. It's number 8 Oregon in Seattle to take on number 7 Washington, a narrow home favorite.
You know, I cannot wait for this game, Mr. Umerani. 2 offensive juggernauts, the best of the West, and man, did you and I bicker back and forth last night when we were writing this show.
Yes, we did, and for very good reason. The margin between these 2 bitter rivals is razor thin. I mean, just look at this graphic. The Ducks and Huskies ranked 1st and 2nd in EPA margin respectively, with Washington boasting the nation's top passing offense with Michael Penix Jr. at the helm and Oregon having the edge on defense.
You know what they say, Raza, defense wins championships, though. The Huskies' run defense is a cause for concern for me, and their pass defense really just doesn't jump off the page either. I think that Oregon's unit is actually the one that prevails here in a shootout. Give me the Ducks to win outright in this absolute pick'em of a game up in Seattle.
Book it, baby. Oregon plus 2.5.
Well, that does it for our Saturday slate, but wait, there's more.
As always, we've got one last bonus bet in store.
How about a futures pick to ponder as you walk out the door?
Why are we like this, man?
You know, I don't know. But give us Michigan to win the Big Ten championship for the 3rd year in a row.
Honestly, Gio, the Wolverines look like the best team in the country right now. It's hard to see someone knocking them off in the regular season, especially with Penn State's recent struggles and the game against Ohio State being played in Ann Arbor this November.
Yeah, give us the conference favorites. Book it, baby. Michigan plus 125 to win the Big Ten.
So, let's recap. We're taking Rutgers and Florida State to pick up big wins at home.
You know, give us Louisville and Colorado to cover as favorites.
And we're taking the Pac-12 underdog tandem of USC and Oregon to win the 2 biggest games of the week outright.
Well, that does it for our show today, and we'll see you right back here next week ahead of another fantastic college football weekend.
Until then, when they call, you be sure to tell them, we got it covered.